Hey, Yinz guys and gals, gather round for a journey like no other. It's time to hop on board the Where Yinz Goin podcast. From the rivers that meet at the point to form downtown Pittsburgh, to the Great Salt Lake, to the furthest corners of the globe, Matt and Katie will be your compass, your confidants, your companions of that, as we explore the wonders of travel. So kick back, relax on your couch, and let the wanderlust wash over Yinz as we discover new horizons and reminisce about old favorites. With Matt and Katie by our side, the sky's the limit. Join Matt and Katie on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, because when it comes to travel, the journey's just getting started. And now, without further ado, let's give a shout for your guides through the highways and byways of travel, the planning partners, the travel tandem, Matt and Katie.
How you doing? Welcome to the Where Yinz Goin podcast. I'm Matt. I'm one of your hosts. Joining me again today is Amanda. Amanda, this is your fifth visit here on the podcast.
I know, it's crazy. Time flies when you're having fun.
Becoming a regular.
Right?
So, since Amanda's been here so much, we're not going to ask the normal question of favorite place to visit because it's not changing. It's the same thing, which we're going to talk about later today. But, slight offshoot of that, Amanda, do you have a favorite memory of traveling with your son?
Yeah. So we went, actually, our first vacation was to Disney World. Shocking. And it was his very first plane flight. So we got lucky when we traveled through TSA and there was nobody else in line. So, of course, my son was 4.5 and decided, he was very excited. He was very excited to go through TSA for the first time, as none of us are. And told everybody that he met, this is my first time on an airplane. This is my first time traveling through security. And we got probably the only nice TSA agent I've ever met in my entire life. And this TSA agent was fantastic. So we went through Bradley Airport. We're out of Connecticut in Hartford. And this TSA agent decided to let my son come around the back of the X-ray machine and watch as our bags went through the X-ray unit. And I just thought it was hysterical because I was like, oh, can I come see too? And he goes, no, ma'am, you are not allowed back here. Only boys are allowed back here. I was like, and my son thought it was the coolest thing ever that he got to do. And he still 2 years later talks about the fact that he got to see our bags go through the machine at TSA. And every time now we go on planes, which now he's an expert and he goes all the time on airplanes, he still talks about the fact that he got to go behind the scenes, Disney talk behind the scenes. We also did a podcast on that, by the way. Behind the scenes at the airport and watch our bags go through. And he still thinks that's like the coolest thing ever, that he got to see our bags go through the X-ray machine.
For a minute there, I thought you were going to say they actually let him go through the X-ray machine.
I know, that would be
itself,
fun, right? Nope, he walks through now. He's an expert. He's a pro. He goes through the machine and like through the thing, and he's like, I got this. And he just walks on through. I'm like, all right, bye. I'll see you on the other side. Hands his like, he has his passport, because he's under 18. He doesn't have a driver's license or anything crazy. So we got him his passport to go on a cruise. And he hands his passport and he's like, yep, this is my name. This is my birthday. I'm going here. I'm going there. Here's my ticket. And he does everything on his own. No problems. I'm like, okay, you can go travel on your own at almost 6. Bye.
I think we need to get our kids together and just let them go on a trip, because my
Right?
little girl can pretty much do the same thing too.
Yep. Just let them go. Okay, see you at the plane. Bye. Find a gate by yourself.
Well, they know their letters and numbers now, so if you tell them,
Right?
they probably could figure it out.
You could probably figure it out. Yeah.
Although actually I'll take it back. My daughter would never get there because she would stop every person she comes to in the airport and ask them if they had a dog or if they had a cat or how old they
Right?
were or something else. So
My kid would be stopping at all the stores to look at, like, he still is like, can we go back to the store at the airport and get the Legos at the Orlando airport at the Disney store? I'm like, I think they probably changed up the Legos by now. But sure. Yeah. Okay.
we've had similar experiences on the plane that my little girl now is on a little kick where she wants to go and meet the pilots.
Oh, we did that a few times. Yeah.
So,
He's
and
with the pilots when he gets on.
she's gotten to go into the cockpit and wear
Hmm.
the hat and everything. And I've gotten some great pictures of her doing that.
Right.
And
We've
I
got all
kind
the
of asked,
pins.
can I go in too? Like, and same thing that you experienced.
They're
Sorry,
like,
sir.
no.
No.
Like, come on, man. I want to see too. Come on. Nope. Nope. Just the kids. But it's a cool experience. At least they still let them do that, which I mean, I remember doing that as a kid on a plane and getting to like sit in the cockpit and like getting the experience. And, it's cool. It makes them not afraid to travel. It gets them comfortable on a plane. So,
And I think that's a big thing of
mm,
one, not being afraid to travel, but two, going along with that is being able to go outside of your comfort zone,
yeah.
which is then leads to just bigger things, better experiences in life. And then I think an overall more well-rounded appreciation of the world and other cultures and other people,
Yeah.
which towards the end of the summer, maybe into September, we're going to have a podcast about that of traveling internationally
Mm,
and just experiences. I think we're having Maureen on for that, that she's
okay.
doing a lot of
Yeah. She's done a lot
travel
of
through Europe.
international.
Yeah, especially this summer. We're gonna have several episodes with her that she's going to Disneyland Paris.
Yep.
She's doing an Alma Waterways cruise. So those are gonna be two episodes right there. And then just general advice about traveling internationally.
Yeah.
But today's topic is going to Disney with kids.
Yeah.
So first thing that I want to say, just don't do it. It's a lot nicer when you're on your own, okay? No. It's often more convenient and easier on your own, but taking the kids is so special and so rewarding. And even whenever they have their meltdowns,
Oh,
the memories you're building with
the
them
fun ones,
and
man.
you're the experience, it's all about the experiences for them, which we'll bring up later on too with my travel tip too. But Disney is basically a kid's dream. I know that whenever I was a kid and went there, that was like the thing of, can we go again? And this is like as we're driving to the airport on the way home, can we come back?
Yeah.
And there's just so many things to do and experience, and it can be the best time of a kid's life, and even the best time of an adult's life too.
Mhm.
But it also can be overwhelming because there's just so much to do, and it's stimulation. You know, there's stimulation assaulting their senses. There's a tongue twister for the day.
Yes.
And Amanda and I have taken our kids to Disney and other places, so been there, done that, made the mistakes, gotten the T-shirt to prove it, all that good stuff. So today we're
Yeah.
going to talk about tips for not only surviving a trip to Disney with the kids, but actually enjoying the trip to Disney with your kids.
Yeah.
So, first thing, and I know this is something that I'm kind of a little apprehensive about on our next trip down there in January, is
Yeah, we're
strollers.
doing that too in September.
So, it's not taking the stroller or having the stroller, it's is my kid getting too big to fit comfortably in the stroller and therefore I
Yeah.
can't use it. Especially because we have
We
one of the
are
little umbrella ones that we bring.
right. We've outgrown the stroller and my child is like, "Oh no, I'm bringing the stroller." I'm like, "We got rid of the strollers. You don't need one anymore."
Although it's not that the kid needs one. I
We
think I
might.
need one.
I thought, yeah. I was like, "Do I just rent a scooter and then he can ride on my lap and then that's kind of like, both of us get a ride." It's an adult stroller.
The stroller is the thing is basically the Sherpa of our trip that it holds the
Right.
waters and the bags and
It's
everything
like the
else. And
carry-all.
sometimes the
Like then I don't
kid,
have to carry a backpack. It's like, it's really tempting.
I might just bring the stroller just to carry stuff, even if my
Right?
daughter can still walk.
I don't have to carry the kid in it. I can just schlep all the stuff, right?
Yeah, she's went to the doctor and she's pushing 50 pounds now.
We're about
And
there too. Mhm.
the stroller is starting to rip a little bit. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it's like creaking at
can we get one
corners,
more trip out of it? So,
right?
but you can rent strollers at the parks. It's a little bit less expensive if you do a length of stay, and you save yourself a couple dollars a day, rather than just renting each one, daily. The one bad thing is that they cannot leave the park that they're rented in. So if you're renting the
Yeah.
Magic Kingdom, it stays in the Magic Kingdom, and if you're doing a park hopper, you need to make the hopping sand stroller.
Yeah, that's a
Also, yeah. Uh, although if you go back and listen to our podcast episode about the transportation, you can tell how you get from one park to the other. Not too bad.
Hmm.
The strollers you're going to rent are hard plastic, so they're not the most comfortable for the kid to sit on.
No.
Although, might it be a bad thing of, I want to sit in the stroller all day. No, it's like, oh, well, can I get up and walk? It's like, okay, sure.
Yeah. And the biggest problem with the hard plastic ones in the summer is they do get really hot. Um, not my favorite.
When I was in college, so I studied engineering. One of my engineering professors had worked out in Arizona, and he told us about leaving the tools out. That make sure you have to bring a blanket to put over the tools if you're sitting out in the sun. And he said the
Yeah.
one time a guy didn't do that. He went to pick one up and he got like a
Get
second
burns on your
degree burn
hands.
on his hand.
Yeah.
He's like, no, don't touch it.
It's like the
So
car
yeah.
seats in the car in the summer.
Oh yeah. Another thing is that there are so many people who rent the strollers. It's very hard to identify which one is yours. So you have
Yeah.
to personalize in some way, shape, or form. But putting a balloon on it doesn't really help because 50
Mm-mm.
other people have done that
Have the
too.
same balloon too.
Yes. So there's some of the it's kind of convenient. It's not too expensive. It saves you on the carrying things, lugging things back and forth. But there's some of the downsides to it too.
But the biggest downside is that end of the day walk to the bus. Oh, you gotta pick your kid up and walk out of the park to the bus and then back to your hotel room with the very sleepy child. And then all the bags. It's just not my favorite choice.
Or the monorail or the
Or
friendship
wherever
or
you're
whatever other
going.
transportation
Yeah.
you're doing, right? And
No.
even worse, if you rented a car and you have to take it, your Magic Kingdom, you take the monorail to the TTC, the
Yeah.
Transportation Ticket Center, then you have to go through the parking lot, which can be massive. Well, all the parking lots can be really big, especially
Yeah. Any of
um,
them.
Animal Kingdom.
I feel like
It's
Animal Kingdom just is the hottest park and the biggest parking lot.
hmm And mainly because even though they have the tram there, but the distance from the regular parking to the front of the park is just
It's
it's a long trip.
it really is. It's just the way
There's a
it's
lot of
built that
preferred
it
parking there,
just yeah,
or at least it seems that way.
it does.
No, another option, and also at the end of the day, when you're returning it too, there's a line that you have
Oh,
to wait in
always.
that line to do it. And if you get there right at the beginning, there can also be a line.
Same
So
thing.
hooray for more lines.
Always.
Other
That
option,
that's the fun
good.
part of Disney though, is waiting in the lines.
It's the part of Disney. Yes, the fun part. I don't know. Depends on how much of a masochist you are. Another option is to rent from a company. Now, most can deliver to the Disney hotels and then other
Mhm.
hotels if you're not staying on property. But why would you
Yeah.
ever want to do that?
And then there are some that actually, if you're coming into the airport, can actually deliver to the airport, which is kind of nice because then you have if you're renting a car, you can just pick it up, stick it in the car, have it with you. Or if you're taking like the shared shuttles or something like that, or a private transportation, you already have it. That's one less thing that you have to worry about meeting at your hotel when you get there. You can just go straight to the parks.
And some of the companies that offer the transportation
We'll
also
also
offer the
do
stroller
it all
service.
as an
So it's
inclusive
all inclusive.
service.
Yeah, it's all together.
Yeah, which is really nice.
And some of them can do some add-ons like adding a case of water or something else, so
Mhm.
you don't have to stop at a grocery store or anything else
Yeah.
to save you some time.
Mhm.
And one thing though, even though most of them can deliver to the Disney hotels, not all of them can leave it at Bell Services. So you have to actually meet them there. There is just a select
Correct.
few, or actually, I think a select one that can actually leave
I
it
think
at
there's
Bell
one. Yeah.
Services.
And most of them do that for liability purposes. You have to sign off that the stroller is in a specific condition when you picked it up so that they know. You also have to drop it off at the end of your visit with them. You can't just leave it at Bell Services for the same reason. So when they meet you, they also check the stroller to make sure there's no additional damages from when you picked it up. So that if it is, they do charge certain fees for replacement or repair. So
So please don't abuse your
don't
stroller.
abuse your stroller, right? Or if you had like a lot of them will rent with their stroller like a rain cover or like a cup thing and attachments. Like some of them will rent like a food cooler, like a lunchbox cooler for you, things like that. They want to make sure that they have all of the pieces with it. And if you leave it at Bell Services, sometimes things go missing,
Was me.
human error.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The other option is to bring your own.
Hmm.
Now, the nice thing with this is you know what you're getting, you know how to use it, so you can
Right.
break it down and set it up. I got mine down to a science. I'm quick with it, and you can also personalize it to make it more recognizable. One's can
Right.
be probably different from other people's that are all there, and you can you know put a pin on it or put a bow on it or something else that you're not worried about putting holes or whatever else that it can make it can stand out. It's like I know mine. Hey, look, it's the one that has the finger paint all over it because
Right.
well, and plus you can use it at the airport,
Mm.
so you have it from the
Helpful.
entire trip. Yes.
Yeah.
Now strollers can they must be folded whenever you board buses and on some watercraft. But you do not need to fold them for the monorail, the Skyliner, or some of the larger watercraft. But you
Yes.
still need to stow them in certain areas. So
Right.
for the whenever you're using the friendships or the ferries or things along those lines.
Hmm.
Another important thing carrying traveling with kids are the car seats.
Correct.
And most of the ground transportation companies will provide these if you're getting a ride share or getting a private transfer or one of the shuttles.
Yes.
You might have to wait a little bit if it's a ride share service to get one that has one.
Mm.
The minivans all have them
Yes.
in their seats, and all have the car seats, and those are great to travel around in, and especially with kids. Of oh my gosh,
It's
our
painted
car
like
looks
Mickey,
like Minnie Mouse.
right?
Might be a little bit more of a thing if you have a little girl than a little boy, depending on
Yes.
how the kid is.
Oh no,
But
my
still,
son loves the minivans. He thinks it's the coolest thing ever on property. So we absolutely pay more for the minivan.
and they're run through Lyft. So if you have the
They
Lyft
are run
app, you
through
can
Lyft,
order
which is
one.
nice because it's nice to prepare. Like I always get Lyft gift cards ahead of time along with my Disney gift cards. So I add it to my account and we just use Lyft while we're there instead of Uber, which depending on the time you get, sometimes the prices are better than others, but it's just so much more convenient because we know we have a car seat and we don't have to worry about it.
And depending on how old your kid is, we have an inflatable booster
Mm.
seat that we carry with us.
Yeah, that's better for the older kids because then it's inflatable.
And it's easy to pack,
Easy to pack, easy to carry around. Yeah.
yeah, and then just blow that thing up, and it's air cushioned, so it's kind of comfortable to sit on.
Mm.
Sit on a little air mattress. So, and our little girl is, she's become an expert at putting the seatbelt like through the little loop things and
Right?
everything. And it's like, no, Dad, you did it wrong. Here, let me fix it.
They're such experts at that age.
Yeah, of course. So now that we're getting kids around safely, another big important thing is making sure they get enough rest.
Oh, yes.
So tired kids are often crabby kids, so they need the
Or they're
rest just like
parent.
parents. So yeah, tired parents are often crabby parents too.
Mom needs a nap too. Don't worry. We even as an adult, like I've done adult trips where I purposely, like, especially in the heat of the summer, I plan a nap time every day. Like you don't have to sleep, you do have to rest.
The
So
midday pool break.
that midday break is always the lifesaver, especially on like week-long trips. Like it's you have to do it. You just have to.
Especially if you're not taking a rest day somewhere in the middle there.
Hmm.
So personally, I usually just need a break from a crabby kid, not a break from Disney so much. But
Oh yeah. And especially like my husband and I will take like we'll each give each other the break from the kid. So it's like, all right, mommy's getting a drink at the pool bar. Bye. And like, nope, daddy needs a walk, you know. Although
tag
it's
team,
my kid is like for the normally overstimulated child, like I have an ADHD autistic kid, so we normally need like daily breaks at school. Like he can go for Disney for a week from like park open to park close for a week straight and be fine, which is not his normal day to day. So it's just he's in the Disney bubble like mommy, so it's fine. He's like, I'm happy. I'm good. I'm in my happy place. I'm great.
so I think that might be hereditary.
Yeah.
We have to isolate the gene for that.
Meanwhile, my husband is like, get me out of here. We have not, assimilated him into the Disney world. So he's like, I'm good. And we just leave him home now. Saves me like 50%. It's great.
some people had rough childhoods. It happens. And like you said, it's a discount whenever he doesn't come.
It is.
Now, if they're young enough to take the naps, we did this with our daughter on our first trip out to Disneyland. That she fell asleep in the stroller, and I pushed her around the park. My wife went and got in line, and we did the rider swap
Hmm.
for
Like the bigger rides, yeah.
yeah, it was Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout was the one that we specifically went to in
Disneyland,
Disney, yeah, in California
California
Adventure Park,
Adventure.
yeah. And then whenever we were in Disneyland Park, she went and rode Splash Mountain, which was back when it still Splash Mountain.
Little Splash Mountain, yeah.
It was right before it closed that we did that, and so she got to go on that. It wasn't exactly super warm that day, so whenever it came my turn, I was like, no, I'm good.
Right.
But she just did a single rider line for that
Yeah.
one.
Those are the nice things about single rider is again traveling with children. Like you have the option of rider swap and single rider, and that's a great thing to utilize when your kids are taking a nap.
Yeah, and I just pushed her around the park. I had my camera. I took a bunch of pictures. We just went all over the place. Kept in text messages with my wife of, okay, where are
Mhm.
you in line? How far farther you have to go? Or I'm on the get about to get on, so I knew when to come back. And places like in Epcot, just walking around the World Showcase. If that's
Because
a
there's always
real nice.
something to see.
Oh yeah, and even if they're just in that kind of dozing thing of it's peaceful enough that they can still, fall asleep, but there's still something that they can look at, and so it's a real nice combination.
Hmm.
And if you're at Epcot or Hollywood Studios and you want to get out of the park for a little bit more quiet, the boardwalk or walking around Crescent Lake, with the Yacht and
It's
Beach Club or
perfect.
the Swan and Dolphin, they're real nice. Other places we've taken our daughter whenever she's kind of in that I'm tired mode, but I'm getting, kind of crabby type thing
Hmm.
is a show in a dark theater
Yes.
or in the lobby of one of those.
Yes.
We've taken her into the Hall of Presidents in Magic Kingdom, American Adventure in Epcot, Walt Disney Presents in Hollywood Studios.
Hmm.
Then
Although
some
I
other,
have the opposite problem because I am raising a young Sheldon Cooper who enjoys those shows the most. So that's the opposite effect is he's like, "Ooh, this is the best show in Disney World." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're not going to take a break now, apparently." Cool. So we have
yeah.
to go find like the quiet like fountain somewhere to sit nearby, you know. Although there's some really great like corners of Disney that like for example, like I don't know, there's that little corner off of Main Street in Magic Kingdom, both in Disney World and in Disneyland, um, where you're like off of the main thoroughfare, but you're still in the parks, but it's quiet and nobody's walking by you, and there's some chairs and a table to just sit down and hang out, and there's this peaceful music floating around. We've talked about the music in the parks, and it's just kind of the environmental ambiance, and your kid just kind of floats away and has like a peaceful time and rests.
Especially on Main Street, that you
Mm,
get that nice, turn of the century.
yes. Or in Animal Kingdom is my favorite place to like find, a quiet path somewhere and just hang out.
Yeah, and on Main Street, what Men is saying, basically, it's about halfway down Main Street. There's
Mm,
whenever it's like the end of the block. So there's like two
yeah.
blocks really, and then there's little side streets that go just a little bit, and there's tables and chairs, um, and the
Just
nice
make
thing
sure
about
you that
there,
you choose the correct one. Because one, there's doors that lead to the garbage facility, and there's a distinctive smell on that end of the block. So you might not be very peaceful down that side. So go the other way.
as someone who
Took
through high
FTH
school and
years.
college worked some
Um,
of those jobs, then
you
garbage
know what it
disposal was
smells
part of
like.
it. You do
Yeah.
not forget that. Yes,
Mm-mm.
especially in the summer when it's hot. The other thing is be careful with which side of the you are sitting on, because one will likely have more shade than the other,
Mm,
especially if it's hot out or if it's a chilly day, you want to be in the sun, stuff like that.
right.
But those are real nice places to sit and chill. And there's some other places around the parks, specifically the back entrance to between or the little path between Tomorrowland and Fantasyland in Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
That if you go past Tron and then going north up, where the railroad is. You border along that kind of, and you'll pass by the Tomorrowland Speedway. It's a
There's like a
nice
little
little path.
quiet path back there.
Hmm.
That's a nice one. Yeah.
Except sometimes when the train comes by, if it blows
Well,
its
yeah.
whistle.
Yeah, but that just adds to the ambiance.
Yeah. Some other shows that might help are Finding Nemo, The Big
Mhm.
Blue and Beyond in Animal Kingdom, Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln, or the new Walt Disney A Magical Life, or Magic Life in Disneyland. And then walking around Epcot in the World Showcase, a bunch of the countries that have different shows. Although be careful that some of them, like Canada and China, they're the Circle Vision, so they don't have seats. And now, even if it's not there, just going into the lobby for those areas and just having a seat there. We
Yes.
had our little girl, she fell asleep in the Hall of Presidents. Actually, she kind of fell asleep during the show. And so we went out, they didn't let us stay in there. So, no, you cannot stay there. They will make you get out and leave the
Care of your
theater.
child.
Yeah.
Yes.
But we got her back into she was still drowsy. We went back into the lobby and we found a nice little corner there and she spread out and took a little nap.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a big thing that people were coming over, especially, um, people who have had kids. And it's like, oh, yep.
Mm-hmm.
Or, oh, I remember my kid when she was that age, she did the
Mm-hmm.
same thing. So, and that's nice, especially if on hot days, or we were there, it was a particularly chilly day in January. So
So
we
then
were
it's
there for
warmer.
warmth, but being there in the summer, that's nice air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Other things that might help with calming the kid down are some of the slow dark rides. As long as the kid isn't scared by the dark stuff.
Yes.
It's a Small World in Magic Kingdom or Disneyland.
Or if
And
you're my mother, she sings along. So don't do that one with my mother if you want your kid to take a nap.
the depending on how loud they sing, and how
Mhm.
well.
Well,
That actually, whenever my little girl was younger, I would sing "It's a Small World" whenever she was trying to get her to go to bed.
mm.
And I would do now. This is what Disney needs to put out, are Disney lullabies.
There
That
is a Spotify playlist.
Does it have like the slower version of a
Yes, they
song?
have a
No,
lullaby
perfect.
version of all the Disney songs. Yes.
That's what I would
There's
do.
a
I would be
couple. Yeah, I am that Disney song person. We learned that on the last Disney podcast that I came on.
be a nice slower version,
Yeah.
just something that is a little bit rhythmic and
Hmm.
soothing to them, just to get them to go. And
Hmm.
it worked, pretty good.
Yes, we sang many Disney songs as lullabies and over the years.
Other slow rides that might work are Under the Sea, Journey of the Little Mermaid in Magic Kingdom, and then a similar ride of The Little Mermaid, Ariel's Undersea Adventure in Disney California Adventure.
Mhm.
Although some of the music there gets a little bit
Exciting.
pumping. Yeah, so hopefully they'll start nodding off before that. Another favorite of mine, as long as they're not afraid of the dark, is the Tomorrowland Transit Authority People Mover in Magic
Yes.
Kingdom.
And the people mover, most of the time, the cast members will just let you keep going. As long as
Yeah,
you ask nicely. They will just
and,
be, you'll just go like this and they just let you keep going. We've done
and
it for
usually there's not
hours.
much. Yeah, usually there's not much of a line there.
No,
Occasionally, if
if
it's
it's like
the
spring break, yeah. But like if you are like, can we just stay on? And then Spaceship Earth is not on this list, but um we learned my last when we were there for Christmas, my child's favorite ride was Spaceship Earth. We went on it 3 times in a row. They let us stay on because he was like, I want to go again. And they were just so enthralled with a 5-year-old loving Spaceship Earth that they just let him stay on. Except he picked a different language every single time.
see,
Yeah.
that trip to Disney is educational.
Educational. Yeah.
He's
He
becoming
learned
multilingual.
all the languages. We now know Spaceship Earth in English, French, German, and I think we did Polish at one point too. I was like, I know all the words. Yeah. So, I mean, at least I know what they're saying. I just heard it in a different language each time.
Did you ever see the movie The Terminal with
Yes.
Tom Hanks and
That's,
how he
yes.
lives in terminal? He learns English from whatever his native language was with a guidebook, and he compares the
Yes.
guidebooks. So
Hmm.
yeah.
That's how my child, yeah, we went to Spaceship Earth.
So if you ever go to Germany or Poland or any of those countries, he'll be able to tell them all about the
History,
history of communication and of the human
their
language.
language. Yeah. Well, that's how we learned a lot of languages. That's why we always convinced my mother to go back to Disney. She always tried. We would do every other year, we would do Disney, and she tried with an educational trip. And we convinced my mother that we could learn to speak different languages throughout the World Showcase in Epcot. And she finally gave up. And we did Disney every year. But she made us, like, we would go to like France and order. I took 4 years of French in high school. So she would make us like go and like order our lunch in that language as like far as we could get. So I still go to France and like order in French, you know, because that's my mother. She was a school teacher.
It rubs off.
Yeah,
As soon as they get the Indonesian pavilion, I'm right there.
right.
So, yeah, I've tried to use my little bit of Spanish in the Mexican pavilion, asking
Mm-hmm.
where the bathroom was. And then whenever she answered in Spanish, it's like,
Uh-huh.
okay, could you say it in English?
Gracias.
I tried. I'm
That's
sorry.
as far as I got. Yeah, they take pity on me in French because I'm like, I'm gonna try to do this in French, and they're like, uh-huh, okay.
And it doesn't get any easier, especially because high school is farther and farther in my rear
Oh,
view
it's
window.
yeah,
So
yeah. It's getting there. It's getting way back there.
I don't know. I mean, we were going to have a 25th anniversary reunion a couple years ago whenever it came, but then just never happened. So
Uh, yeah.
therefore, I have not had my 25th high
Not
school
quite to
reunion yet.
25 yet. No.
So not, haven't quite past that many years, but we haven't done it, so it's not official.
Okay. I'm almost at 20, so I'm getting there.
Now, a few other. Oh, go ahead.
It's just, yeah. So it's getting way back. And then my child figured out he added Duolingo on his app on his tablet. So now he's getting better at French than I am. So,
My little girl practiced that Duolingo a little bit with Turkish.
mhm.
She knows one word. It's ekmek, which means bread.
So she can order bread whenever she goes to Turkey.
And in a couple weeks, whenever we go to Indonesia
Mm.
to visit my wife's family, we are stopping in Istanbul.
Oh, there you go.
We went through there last year too. So,
So she can practice.
yep. A few other things, slow rides are the Seas with Nemo and Friends in Epcot,
That's
the
a fun one.
Living with the Land, also in Epcot, and then Navi River Journey in Animal Kingdom.
Yes.
And
And then back to the Seas with Nemo and Friends. That's another great place for a nap. Anywhere in the living, I call it the living seas, I'm old. Anywhere in the Seas with Nemo and Friends pavilion is a great place to just find a great corner in the aquarium and just in that, like, the viewing platform area, just hang out. And that just, I mean, I could doze off in there.
well, there's a reason people
So
have fish as
calming,
pets.
right?
Yeah, you sit and watch the fish go by for a bit. They're
Hmm.
relaxed. It's, kind of it's calming. Great place. And, it's carpeted there. It's
Right?
quiet. It's not very bright.
Hmm.
Um, with the carpeting and everything, the sounds are kind of
It
muted.
mutes.
So,
Hmm.
yeah, real good place.
Yeah.
And the Living Seas in Epcot Center, right?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned before about your son liking the Spaceship Earth so much.
Hmm.
We have gone on the in Mexico, the
Oh, the Three
Three Caballeros,
Caballeros.
yeah, the Grand
Yeah, he
Fiesta
liked that
Tour.
one a lot.
I do
That's
not
another
recommend.
good one.
It's another good one, and the cast members thought it was funny that we like rode it 3 times in a row.
He went back on that one a few times too.
Yeah,
And
but
then the Carousel of Progress. That's another like slow ride kind of. It's not really a ride. It's a ride. It's a show. It's kind of both. We did that one a few times.
yeah, it's another good one.
Between Spaceship Earth and the Carousel of Progress, those were the two favorites.
I do not recommend the Grand Tour Fiesta though for napping because it is very
No,
bright. It's very kinetic.
loud.
Everything's going on. It's a bit frenetic on there. So it's a wonderful, attraction to go on, but not really good for napping.
Not for a nap. No.
Other things is transportation of
Mhm.
is and this is real nice if you are in the Magic Kingdom if it's a hot day and you need an air conditioning break and you still need that motion and something moving around going on the monorail. And this
Yes.
also works out at Disneyland as well. Although Disneyland, it's the more the windows are open type thing. but that's a nice little thing. Going on a friendship ride, either just across the World Showcase Lagoon or going between Hollywood Studios and Epcot.
Mhm.
The Skyliner, which we love just to ride.
Oh
Although you
yeah.
have to be careful that you do need to transfer at different times, and they do make you get off at different
And get on, yeah.
locations. So be careful with that. The Walt Disney World Railroad or the Disneyland Railroad, but again, be careful with the whistle.
Yes.
Although I was out in Disneyland and I had a family got on behind me and they had a little one that they were holding and they were dozing off and they took the kid's shoes off
Oh.
and I was like, you know,
I
they were
wouldn't have
they
thought of
this kid
that.
like
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's good. And they said, yeah, well, think when you're at home, you usually don't fall
You're
asleep with your
napping.
shoes
Yeah.
on, and it's a more comfortable. And it's like, you are brilliant, yo.
Yeah. I never would have thought of that.
It's like, teach me, Obi-Wan, teach me.
Mhm.
So
Although I
there's
had a
a
kid that could fall asleep anywhere, which is ironic that he is an ADHD autistic kid because normally they're very picky. But my kid, if it was nap time, he was asleep. Didn't matter if we were in the car, didn't matter if we were out hanging out with friends, he would crawl up on my lap and be out cold.
I
So
have
it's very weird.
I have a friend in a similar
It
situation as
was
well.
routined. That's what it was. It wasn't about where he was or what clothes he was in. It was about I'm taking a nap. It is 1 o'clock. It is my nap time. I'm going to sleep.
It's like that meme with the little girl on the beach. I take a
hmm
nap right here.
I take a nap. I go nap sleep. I go sleep right now. Yeah. That's my kid. It's
Uh,
just some kids are like that.
yeah. Some friends of mine, they have a thing on Facebook, like an album that is the wife's name is Jessica. It's like Jessica can nap anywhere. And there's this
hmm
picture of her just
Just
it's
sleeping
they
wherever.
were
Yeah.
doing whatever at a friend's house and she's curled up in the corner taking a nap. They're went to a Comic-Con and she's over in the corner because she was tired. Okay. One other thing you can do is if you're taking some of the transportation, you do have to get off or you're just going somewhere, is relaxing at one of the resorts.
Yes.
Either going to yours or just going to a lobby of a nearby one.
hmm
Especially again, like if you're at Epcot, going out the back door into the boardwalk, yacht club, beach club area, and just walking through the lobbies, especially yacht club and beach club.
Mm,
Real nice sitting areas with some comfortable chairs. Same thing over with the boardwalk.
yes. And then anywhere, like there's always little quiet areas in any of the resorts, even if it's not your own resort. Um, there's little, not even lobby areas. There's like conference rooms. There's little quiet corners. I mean, I've found places like when I needed to, send a quick email and you sit down or make a phone call. You just sometimes you're walking down a hallway and you just come across like an open space with chairs and a table set up next to a window. And nobody's walking by. It's a
And
great
that's
place
at
to take a nap.
the hallways that connect like the lobby to a
Yes.
restaurant or the lobby to the convention center or
hmm
something along those lines. That those are some great places just to get away. And even
Yeah.
as an adult, just to sit back and
Just to,
relax and have some
yeah.
quiet. Sit down,
Yeah.
close your eyes, enjoy the quiet.
hmm Or like same thing like outside, especially at um the deluxe resorts and the villas. There's all these pathways throughout the architecture and like between the pools and between the larger buildings. There's just like little meeting spaces basically. And they're all quiet during the day because everyone's at the parks.
Exactly. And if you're there on a day that's not too hot, some of the outdoor places, if you can find a nice shady spot, like we
Mhm.
were at the Saratoga Springs last time, and
Oh yeah.
um, my wife actually wanted to take a little nap. So my daughter and I walked around um, the resort a little bit. We found a little gazebo area that had little
Mhm.
grills that you could and picnic tables.
Yes.
And and she loved it because it was decorated sort of like a carousel house, and it
Yes.
had some little like carousel horses there. They were
Mhm.
smaller, and she was like, I had my camera because I want to take some pictures, and she was like, "Let me take pictures too." So we were taking pictures of each other and walking around that area, and it was a very nice father daughter bonding moment
Mhm.
of it again, it goes back to being some of the simple things in life.
Yes. I've found that some of my favorite vacation memories are not like, oh, we went on this ride and this like really great expensive dinner. Like it's those little tiny moments that you don't plan out that are sometimes the most meaningful.
It's like whenever we stayed at the Saratoga Springs, they have a Murphy bed, and just
Yes.
my little daughter seeing the bed come out of the wall and
Yep.
fold down, she's like,
That's
"This
the
is can I?
coolest thing
Do
ever.
I get to sleep here?"
Hmm.
And she was just sitting on the bed, just having a good time, just being on
Right?
that bed because it folded down from the wall and it was something different.
And the lights that like because we stayed at Wilderness Lodge for my son's first trip. We stayed in a one bedroom suite with my parents, and the one in the living room was a Murphy bed that we stayed on. And same thing, we pulled it out of the wall, and my son was like mesmerized. He's like, "Can we put that back up and do it again?" Like, and the lights were like set into the side of the bed inside the Murphy bed, and he
Hmm.
was fascinated, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off. He just thought it was the coolest thing ever. He's like, "There's a bed in the wall. It's in the
And
wall."
the really neat thing is on some of the bigger ones that have the fold out Murphy bed
Mm,
sort of thing that comes out from under the TV. And it's meant for being
yes.
a kid size thing, and also has like a little mural with characters on it too.
Yes.
And if
Again, the
you're
Disney details are just you can't beat them.
and if you're on the Disney Cruise Line, some of the ones that the bed will come down from the
From the
ceiling
ceiling.
too.
And same thing, they have like a picture. Like we thought it was cool. My mom and I went on the Wish, and we didn't need the pull down bed, but just we had our room steward pull it down just to see what it looked like. And the fairy godmother writes on with her magic wand, a dream is a wish your heart makes is the mural. Because I wanted to see what it looked like. So, it was as an adult, we thought it was cool that the bed came down from the ceiling.
Yeah, and a couple weeks ago we talked about the Disney Treasure with our friend Mandy,
Yes.
and it was Genie that's on this one.
Yes. Because it's Aladdin themed. Yeah.
Hmm.
So just the little details that just make the Disney difference.
Yeah. And as you're going around, if you go to one of these different hotels to find a shady spot or quiet spot, this is also a really great way to resort hop. As you're
Yes.
walking around, and or even if you're just pushing a stroller with a napping kid around it, you get to see something that's interesting to you. You're not
Yes.
just sitting there watching a kid sleep. You actually get to do something and be, I'd call it productive on your
Mm.
vacation. That your job is to go there and do something you wouldn't normally do and to enjoy yourself.
Right. And
And
I've told most of my clients a lot of the time, I have clients who are repeat Disney visitors, and I'll suggest like a dining reservation in a resort. And they're like, what do you mean Disney has this many resorts? And I've never gone to Disney. I've stayed, like, they'll stay at the same place every single time and never visit the resorts. They're a destination within the destination. There's so many, they're each so intricately detailed and designed that they're their own part of the resort. It's just you have to go visit all of them. They're meant to be visited
oh, we've taken a half day
and just visited resorts.
and
Yeah.
just walked around a resort. And that's the nice thing of if you ever want to save a little bit of money on your trip and you want a break day in the middle that you're not going to spend money on a park ticket,
You
is
can do
use
a
that day,
resort hop day.
go see so many other things. And it's a fun thing. Oh, look what this one has. Oh, look what this one has. Oh, look, this one
Mhm.
has a neat little cafe here. Let's eat here for lunch. Okay, this one. Oh, look at this little stop and go restaurant. Let's try here.
Especially during the holidays. I mean, we often went at Christmas time because my mom's birthday is in December. So, or like school break was Christmas, or I mean, she used to take us in the beginning of December because Thanksgiving, we would go down to my grandparents for Thanksgiving and then go to Disney for a week. Um, but because everything's so beautifully decorated and there's always special things going on around the holidays, and now with the gingerbread houses, and now it used to only be the gingerbread house at the Grand Floridian, and now there's gingerbread, some sort of decoration in every single hotel almost. You
Yeah.
have to go and experience it all.
Gingerbread structures,
Structure.
I think we
Yeah.
can say. Nice all encompassing word
Hmm.
for that. And that's another neat thing of if you're going down during the holidays with the kids of just saying,
Oh
"Hey,
yeah.
you want to see a neat thing?" And it's like, "Hey, look,
Yeah.
there's a carousel. Hey, that's made
Hmm.
of cookies. Can we eat it?" It's like, "No, don't."
We
But
did that because we were there for the holiday. My son thought it was the coolest thing, and each stand has a different treat. So like we had to make it a whole like scavenger hunt because like one place had gingerbread cookie macarons. So we were like, oh, we got to get those. Like, and this one had a different shaped cookie, so we had to get that cookie there, and we had to go to this place to get this thing, and like it was, we were in our element, let me tell you. He
And
had
if you're
also
there for some of
been
the
the
different,
sweet tooth.
oh
Yeah,
yeah, and if you're there for some of the festivals of like doing the Christmas tree stroll in Disney
yes.
Springs or something like that, of you're
Hmm.
seeing, oh look, these all these different Christmas trees, and
Right?
it
He
kind of
got
gives them a,
very into it this year. He was like, we got to do all the things. And now we're going down for his birthday in September, which all the Halloween things are out. And he's like, oh, we got to do all the Halloween things now. Like, he's my kid, unfortunately. So,
yep.
yeah.
So one of the things with taking breaks, we mentioned before, is the pool break.
Yes.
And cooling off at a pool when it's hot out is such a great way to rejuvenate yourself.
Yes. And even in the winter, I didn't realize this until I became a travel agent. Like, they're also heated to a specific temperature. So in the winter, it's also cool to take a pool break.
So yeah, you're not going to go in and freeze automatically.
No, which most kids don't care if it's 20 degrees out. They're going in the pool.
Oh, we whenever my sister, youngest sister was little, it'd be the middle of February.
Oh, I'm
Hey
going in the
mom,
pool.
it's sunny outside. It's warm. Can we go in the pool?
Right?
There's also snow on the ground. Yeah, but it's sunny.
Doesn't matter. It's sunny out. It's warm.
And the nice thing is when you're staying on properties that the Disney resort hotels are close enough to the parks, you can take this break and then go
Yeah,
back. And also you're missing the busiest times of the day in the
right.
park. So, if you go back for a 3 hour, total of a 3 hour break, some of the, if you were trying to get on some of the bigger rides, you might only be able to get on, say, two or three of them anyway. So
Hmm.
it's more productive. Plus, you're getting to use the resort that you're paying for.
Right.
So might as well. And even though when you're in parks and as awesome as Disney, and they have so many things to do and the rides and the shows and things to look at and the shopping and the food,
Hmm.
kids need to be kids though. And
Yeah.
taking that play break. And the nice thing is they have plenty of places to do that playing.
Oh, yes.
The especially when it's hot out, the Casey Jr. Splash and Soak Station in Magic Kingdom. It's back in Tomorrowland. It's in the was it Fantasy?
It's in the Fantasyland expansion area, really.
Yeah, Storybook
Uh,
Circus. There it
Storybook
is.
Circus. Yep.
Kind of where Dumbo and the Barnstormer are in the train station.
Hmm.
Kids gravitate to water. It's something to run
Always.
around and get wet. And if it's hot out, don't forget the swim diapers though for if they have really young kids.
Yep.
And uh, if it's not extremely hot, a change of clothes will be good.
Mm.
Uh, but that's a nice way for them to cool off and then they get their second wind. Now, while it lasts, Tom Sawyer Island on Magic
Oh,
Kingdom,
I'm so disappointed. I love Tom Sawyer Island. I'm so disappointed they're getting rid of it.
it was a nice shady area to go and let kids run around. And
And it
of
was
course, my little girl,
quiet,
she made like 10 best friends there just playing
right?
and going to Fort Langhorne and all that. Now it's still out
Hmm.
in Disneyland, so we still have
Yes.
something, a place to see it. The in Epcot, the Journey of Water, another place to
Hmm.
get a little bit wet if you want to. But it's amazing how you can stay dry, and that's just a fun place to walk around and
That's
see
just
all the
fun.
different things. There's the Liquid Layer Splash Pad in Epcot.
Hmm.
That's near Mission Space with water, shooting up.
Yep.
The dancing fountains near the Imagination Pavilion, also in Epcot.
Yes.
I still loved seeing those things.
Oh,
Seeing the
yeah.
water, the leaping fountains jumping overhead,
Mhm.
the little hops, the ones that just shoot straight up and down. I guess
Just
they're like
stop,
mushroom ones.
right?
So I could watch that all day.
I love
The
that the fountain in front of Imagination Pavilion goes backwards. It
Yeah,
just
it's the reverse waterfall.
reverse waterfall. Yeah.
There's also the Green Landing Family Play Zone in Epcot. Now
Hmm.
this is across from Test Track. It's next to Creation Shops.
Yes.
That we were there to, we, my little girl wanted to run around and um I think about it like right after we had lunch or we had grabbed something to go and my wife and I were still munching on something and figuring out where we're going to go next and everything. And she was, climbing on things, whatever, had the best time of her life. It's like, you realize
Mhm.
we are at Disney. There's other things to do. She's like, yeah, but
Right?
I have to climb on this, Dad. It's like, okay.
Yeah. And then there's inside once you go through the imagination journey into imagination, once you leave the ride, there's a play area um inside the building where you can meet Figment, which I got to meet Figment this year. I was very happy. But my son thought it was great because we're a musical family, so it's all a lot of it there's the the
Making different noises and
there's many
different
different noises
instruments.
that you can make with instruments with your body, which is really cool. And then there's also a play zone, which you don't have to go on mission space. You can go through the exit, but there's a kids play zone. So like if you have older members of the party who are going on mission space, you can bring your children into the back and they exit through that play zone area, which is fun.
Yeah, it's a nice little climbing
A
area.
nice little climbing zone, which is cool.
Yeah,
So,
we spent some time there too after
mm,
getting off mission space. And the inside of the imagination one, that there's a little computer you can design your own figments.
yes, we designed quite a few figments. So I have them
And
painted all over my office.
the that play area fits so well with the theme of the pavilion
Yes.
of learning your senses. Now, not,
Yes.
except for taste. Okay, don't go.
Yeah,
Well,
don't
actually, there.
hey, don't lick anything.
Yeah.
Um,
Um,
Germs. Oof.
but the hearing and the touching and
Yes.
the different. I don't think there's a smell thing there either.
I
But
don't think there's smell. No.
especially with the noise though, with the music, and there's one
Mhm.
area where you can like stand on different things, and you hear the different sounds of the different instruments. And
Yes.
so
And then
it's
they have the keyboard along the wall where it's almost like a oh, what's the childhood game? Because it's the repeat, like it plays the tone and you
oh,
have to play
Simon.
it. Simon Says kind of thing. Simon, yeah. So we tried that. I mean, my kid thought that was the coolest thing ever. And we spent, I don't know, 20 minutes just trying to do the repeated pattern 100 times. So it kept his interest, which, and a lot of people just walk right through that to the next ride. So, you know, it's fun. It's really fun for little kids. They get into little things. And what I like about traveling with my child is I've been to Disney, I don't know, 100 times, Walt Disney World specifically, and going with him for his first couple of times now, he gets fascinated by the details. He brings me back to discovering things for either the first time or rediscovering things that I forgot were there, and he just all of a sudden he'll go down a path and be like, let's go see what this is. And it's something that is fascinating and amazing. And it it's wonderful. I love doing it with him. Um, and then there's other places for play breaks. There's not really too many at Hollywood Studios right now. I don't think so.
No, they do have
They're
the.
re they're redoing a lot of areas, which I'm hoping they bring back. I miss old Hollywood Studios. The what was that one? The Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Oh yeah,
That was fabulous, but they got rid of that one when they redid Hollywood Studios. Well, it was MGM back then.
I
But
remember being there one time. I was probably around 12,
mm,
and it was one of those summer trips where we got the afternoon rainstorm. So
yep,
of course we had our ponchos and we put those on and we powered through. But then whenever it stopped raining, we were there and I got wetter in that play zone than I did whenever it was thunderstorming
it was actually
because
raining. Yeah.
there was the dripping hose and I stood under
Yes.
there and tried to see how many times I could have the dripping water hit me right in the forehead.
Right.
Oh, I was drenched coming out of there, but oh, it
Yeah.
was fun climbing around on the big ant and everything.
Yep.
And going back to the Imagination Pavilion play area, your mom would love that because
She does.
it's so educational. If you're standing on,
It
here's
is.
what this instrument looks like. Then you step on it.
Is the
Here's what
sound
it
that it
sounds
makes.
like. Oh, look, here's the what is it called? You put it's like a U-shaped thing. You put your hand in
And
how
it
you move
makes
your hand.
this the the sound go with your hand. It's like with the Journey of Water. She loves that too. And my Henry got such a kick out of that because your hands go up and the water goes with you and you can walk through the water and it stops. And it's just like the the science behind body mechanics and making it work with your body. It's just so cool, you know?
Yeah, and I forget what the instrument's called that does that in imagination. There's an actual instrument that makes that
Yes.
sound. It's like I was gonna say a vibraphone, something along those
Something
lines.
like that. Yeah.
Vodaphone.
Yeah.
And but moving your hand and how you move it up and you hear a higher pitch and then you move it
Yes.
down and you can make those associations of what we say about higher pitch and the
Hmm.
soaring and lower and then the up and down with higher lower, and it's a great thing for little kids to explore and learn and get hands-on experience with a
Hmm.
lot of these things.
Yeah.
Another place that it's nice while it's there is the Boneyard in Animal
Oh, we
Kingdom,
love the
Gunland,
boneyard.
USA. And now be careful because the slides there are not necessarily
Oh,
are not covered in summer. Oh my God. We were there in July with my nieces and nephews one time, and it was like, "Do you want to go on a slide?" Like, let's go on a slide. And they went down like, and,
never mind. Yeah, no. And some of them are bigger than you realize.
hmm
Like my 5-year-old is he's he's like the watch first and then do it type. And there were some slides like he climbed up in there and he looked down the slide and he's like, "Nope, I'm climbing back down. I'm not going down the slide." And we're like, "Oh, okay, cool." But then like I had forgotten, so we did the Wilderness Explorers activity in the Boneyard. And I have been to Animal Kingdom. Like Animal Kingdom is my favorite park. And I remember going to Animal Kingdom the year it opened, and I had forgotten about the second half of the Boneyard going across the bridge to the dig site.
hmm
And one of the Wilderness Explorers sites is over there. So I had totally forgot about it. And we went through the boneyard. I swear we took 20 minutes, my husband and I. My kid was running around like a Yahoo. We were trying to find the stinking dig site. I'm like, I know it's here. I remember it. How do I get there? And we finally had to ask a cast member. She's like, "Yeah, you go across the bridge." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like the childhood memory unlocked and I felt like a kid again. It was so much fun. Like it drives me crazy when Disney takes away these things because we had so much fun in there as adults doing all the things and like the bones of like make music when you press on them and like all the crazy things in there. And we're walking through and like things are coming back to me from like 30 years ago. It was crazy.
And the dig site was covered too, so that was nice.
Hmm. That's nice too, is that the dig site is covered so that if it's raining or really hot, it's not as hot as the rest of Animal Kingdom. But it's a place where they can kind of get the wiggles out. Because, like, again, back to the stroller thing, if your child is in the stroller most of the day, yeah, you're getting your steps in and walking around, but they are contained. They do need to get their energy out. So those play sites and those play breaks are really great for those kids to get out and really run around and get their energy out throughout the day.
And that's one thing I hope they don't lose whenever they do the renovations. I hope they keep
Right.
some play area
Something.
of some because well,
Yeah.
and Hollywood Studios they have the Disney Junior stuff
Yeah. So
and the
that's
dance party, so
the
they can
dance
have a way to
party
do
is
that.
nice. Yeah.
But each of them they have something where the kids can play. And the one out in Disney California Adventure, in it's in the like Redwood Forest area.
The Forest Creek Challenge. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Oh, that's awesome. That
That is
I was kind of
fabulous.
upset that they have like a little zip line thing you can ride on, and I was too big to ride it.
Right?
Like, can we
Like, come
like
on,
the same
man.
thing in the ski patrol thing in Blizzard Beach. That even the
Yes.
first time I went there, I was, like 17, 15,
And you're too
17,
big.
18, whatever. And I was too big to do it. I was like, man, I want to take a zip line and fall into water. That's
Right?
fun. So,
No fun for adults. Come on, man.
but yeah, the we got to go around the one in California Adventure, and that's climbing up and going up and down rope ladders and
Yeah.
um across bouncing bridges, and
Mhm.
they had a whole bunch of slides, and then Chip and Dale were there to greet the
Right?
kids, and oh, my little girl loved that area
Hmm.
right up to the point where she puked, but
Well, that's how you know they have a lot of fun.
Well, she had a cold, and of course,
Oh,
this
of
was she was
course.
3 years old and didn't, constantly sniffing that in, and then she got an upset stomach and blah. So
There you
I
go.
found out that if you ever hear code two, it means sawdust is needed.
Yes.
So I was over getting a cast member, and I don't know if it was either Chip or Dale was trying because Chip and Dale can't talk,
Yeah.
was like writing out letters in the air, drawing it out, and I got
Oh,
enough to, and the cast member was like COD, and it helped to like, and they were like, what, double what, and V, and they're like, I was like, no, it's code two. So I
you're
had to figure
like,
out
that's my kid. Thank you.
what Chip and Dale
Yeah.
was doing. I was like, oh, code two. Yeah, code
Mhm.
two. It's over here. It was my kid.
Oops.
And so
Sorry.
me and the cast member were blocking off the area, redirecting people.
Yeah.
I
Well,
felt an obligation to stick around.
yeah. Oops. Could be worse.
So she felt better after that and had a great
Yeah.
time. So,
Oh,
gotta have her
it
system.
worked. Yeah.
Now, another way to keep kids on track and to not get them too tired is to leave early. And kind of what Amanda said of whenever the kid says it's nap time, keeping that somewhat normal bedtime is really
Or
important.
somewhat of a normal schedule too. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Like
also the nice thing about
meals at
leaving,
the same time and anything
hmm
like that that you can.
and whether it's real meals or just giving them the snacks or whatever else.
Hmm.
But leaving early also has benefits that you avoid the fireworks, especially if your kids are afraid of fireworks, like mine, who
Right.
talks a big game, but then whenever the fireworks go off is completely different.
Or you can watch the fireworks from a distance.
And that's a nice thing if you, especially at Magic Kingdom, if you can take the monorail over to the Polynesian
Hmm.
resort and be on the beach because you hear the music still.
Yes.
The booms are a lot more muted. You don't get to see everything on Main Street USA with the projections now,
But
but
fireworks
still.
are magical regardless.
And the other thing is you get to avoid that mass exodus at the end of the
Yes.
when the park's emptying out, that you are already farther away, that then
Yes.
you can take the bus, well, if you're driving or whatever, or staying at the Polynesian, it's a little, take the monorail and then get to your car, or, if you can get other transportation back home where you're going, or just stay there because it's a really awesome resort,
Yeah.
or even the contemporary, if you're facing the park and just having that little bit of distance can sometimes help. Or if you even are inside looking out the sliding glass doors onto the balcony, having that glass there to mute the sound is
Yes.
nice.
And we've done that. There's some restaurants that will pipe in the music too when you have a fireworks reservation. So that's always nice.
Up at the top at the
Oh, yes.
was it California Grill?
Yeah, we've done that a few times. We did
Now,
that
if you
once in the middle of January and went out and we were like, never mind, I've seen the fireworks enough times. Thanks. It's a little cold, a little chilly up
yep.
there.
Now, if you do have a late night, this is unavoidable. That one time our last trip, we were at Epcot, and I've told this on here before that we got pixie dusted, that we did Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind, and it was at night that we had a this is when we had the virtual queue, and our
Mm,
time came up kind of late, and so we got off, and it was just like almost 10 minutes to 9 or something like that,
yeah.
and then the cast member comes to us and says, "Do you want to ride again?" And I looked at my wife and was like, "Do you want to go?" She's like, "Oh, we'd have to go back and wait in line again, and it's way too." I was like, "No, no, no, you don't understand.
We've
We
got
are
this.
riding
Yeah.
again now, immediately." And so the cast member gathered,
Yes.
whoever wanted to do it again. We took a back entrance around, came
Huh.
out, got right back on. And then we got home a bit late. It was, not, we try and get our girl to bed around 9. We didn't even get back to the hotel till like 9:30ish or so. And so the next day was whenever we were Magic Kingdom, and she took the nap in the Hall of Presidents on the floor in the lobby.
Right.
And she was very crabby that day. So we kind of learned something. But doing
But you know
Guardians of the
what?
Galaxy twice in a row, it was worth
Yeah,
it.
it's worth it.
But if you have one of those late nights where it's just something unavoidable or something you cannot
Or
pass
you
up,
know you're going to have a late night.
right?
You
The next
plan
day,
for it the next day.
yeah, sleep in a little bit late, catch up on that sleep. And this is a nice time to have one of the character breakfasts.
Yes.
nice leisurely morning where you're not rushed. You're gonna take it easy. And by the way, we need to have a podcast about the character breakfast.
Yes. I think I've done just about all of them. Let's be real.
So we'll have you back, Amanda, for that.
Okay.
Um, and just a quick rundown of some of the best are Chef Mickey's at the Contemporary, which I think is
Yeah.
largely considered the best.
We did dinner for Henry's first trip, and we ended up getting a late reservation, and he ended up being the only kid in the restaurant at that moment in time, and they did like their little dance break thing. He had
Hmm.
all four characters dancing with him at one point. They took him out of the seat and danced all the way around the restaurant. It was the greatest thing. He still is like, we're going back to Chef Mickey's. I'm like, okay, I guess that's where we're going. I'm like, you're not gonna have the same experience again, but he still is like, no, no, I'm going to sit at Chef Mickey's with the Mickey cutout in the chair, and this is where I'm eating dinner with Mickey. Okay, that's what you want to do.
Yeah, I have a family that's traveling. Well, as this
Mhm.
next week, so have fun down there. Um,
Right?
and they have Chef Mickey's, and that was one thing that they specifically requested, and I was like, "You got it."
Okay, you got it.
So yeah, they're doing a nice dinner there. And
Hmm.
it's an extended family too. They grandparents,
Yeah,
parents, kids, and then aunt is coming too.
yeah, that's always nice.
So Topolino's Terrace at the
Yes,
Riviera, and you're the view up there.
is
You're up
fabulous.
high. Yeah.
And we did breakfast there, and it must have, I think it's probably now my favorite breakfast to do. We had the best cast member ever who let me get two breakfasts because I did not know which one I wanted. So he let me order both. It's fixed price. So he's like, yeah, it's fixed price. We can just do whatever you want. I'm like, I like you. You're great. It was
Did you
fabulous. It
did you
was
leave a
some of the best food I've ever had at Disney World, which is saying a lot.
did you leave a cast member compliment?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. And they seated us like we got there early and they seated us like 2 hours early, which is unheard of. It's the like most busiest restaurant also, which, you know, I was not expecting to be seated early. I was like, yeah, we'll go downstairs and like wander for 2 hours. And she's like, no, you can sit down now. Okay. It was great.
And yeah, with these, you need to get the reservations 60 days before,
Yes.
right when it happens, right
Hmm.
as soon as you can do it. And if you have a travel advisor, they get up at 6 in the morning and they can book it for you.
We do.
Another place is the Artist Point at Wilderness Lodge.
Yes. With the evil queen. So if you're a villain's girl like me,
And meeting some of the characters that you don't normally see in the
don't
parks.
normally see in the parks. Yeah.
1900 Park Fair at the Grand Floridian. That's a little more upscale-ish.
Yes.
Uh,
But it's also strawberry soup. I mean, it's iconic.
Ohana at the Polynesian, which is
Yes.
it's right up there with Chef Mickey's. That some people
It's
swear by Ohana
I
as the
swear by
best.
Ohana, and they're only characters at breakfast. And I have done both breakfast and dinner with no characters. And even though the dinner food is fantastic, I will go to breakfast for Stitch. Stitch is my man. So we go to Ohana as like the family tradition. We will always eat breakfast at Ohana. Like that is our family meal that we always go to.
Do you have your tickets yet for the upcoming movie coming out?
We've already seen it.
Okay.
Do not ask my opinion. Yeah, no. Mm-mm.
Moving on then.
Moving
We'll
on.
save that. One of my
I am a
favorites.
diehard OG. We know this.
Yeah.
I am a classic Disney girl. I don't normally like remakes, so just no. They changed too many things for me to. No,
Got it.
no. They changed a central part of the movie, in my opinion, and I am not happy.
I'll offer my opinion whenever I see it.
Okay.
But one of my favorites is the Cape May Cafe at the Beach Club.
Yes.
The seeing the characters here, and the nice thing about the character breakfast is they will often, and seeing them in different parks, is they'll dress in theme with the
Yes.
location. And the Beach
That's
Club,
what I
seeing them
like
kind of,
about the Cape May Cafe is they have their like swimsuit attire on. It's different.
yeah, it's beachy stuff, and it's like Goofy's getting ready to jump in the water.
Right. It's like Topolino's Terrace is they're all like artists in Italy, you know? It's cute.
Yeah, and now Cape May, it's a buffet thing, but
Mhm.
a breakfast buffet and going back, that's when you don't have to worry about going back getting two breakfasts or
Mhm.
three or four.
Mhm. It's
And
worth it.
yeah, even in the evening with the clam bake, their evening seafood stuff there is really good, even
It's
though it's
really
not
good.
character breakfast. Again, kind of like the Ohana thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
just go there for both.
Mhm.
Another one, if you're going to be in the park, is at the Crystal Palace with Magic
And
Kingdom, where
Winnie
you
the
get to
Pooh.
see Winnie the Pooh. Exactly.
And for breakfast there, they have churro Mickey waffles. So if
Yes,
you have
please.
to pick between breakfast, lunch, and dinner, go to breakfast. Just do it. It's worth it. It's so worth it.
There's also the
Churro Mickey
Garden
waffles.
Grill in Epcot
Yes.
in the land.
I love the garden grill.
It rotates.
It
You get to
rotates.
look down um
The
on the
land.
living
Or
with
living
land.
with the
Yeah.
land. Well, used to be living with the land. Yeah.
Yeah. We um we were there and Pluto was out front. And of
Hmm.
course he was greeting the guests there and he, couldn't come out to um, see us, but my little girl had stickers that she had gotten, and we went up to one of the cast members she wanted to give the sticker to Pluto, and she was upset
Oh.
because Pluto wouldn't come over. So we gave it
Oh.
to the cast member to pass on the Pluto to give him a
Yeah.
sticker for my daughter. So
And I also learned because we did behind the seeds this year, all of the vegetables served in the garden grill are grown in the land, in the greenhouse,
which makes you want to eat there even better
which is
because you
really
know it's
cool.
fresh.
It's
Yeah.
literally picked out of the greenhouse that day and served to you, which is very cool. Which is why we're growing cucumbers in our garden this year because they're Mickey cucumbers. Because we ate a cucumber off the vine in the greenhouse, and now my child has decided he likes cucumbers. So there is magic at Disney.
My little girl likes cucumbers as long as someone else is eating them. Same thing with
Oh, yeah.
tomatoes, or she's a social eater. If you're eating
Yeah.
something, she'll want to try it.
This year, as long as we're growing it in our garden, my child will eat it, apparently. So we'll see if that actually works.
Again, Disney is teaching how to eat properly and eat good
Right.
food. And especially with the garden thing. It's something that eating food out of your own garden tastes
It
better.
tastes differently because it's totally fresh. It's not,
Hmm.
processed and like frozen and unfrozen and served and, you know, coming from a million miles away. Who knows where it came
Hmm.
from?
Another good one in Hollywood Studios is Hollywood and Vine,
And I like Hollywood and Vine because they do seasonal character outfits. So that
and
one's
so when
cool.
you have to go a couple times to see it all.
Yeah.
Repeatability.
Yes. Disney is ever changing.
And then another one that gets high marks is Tusker House in Animal
Yes.
Kingdom.
I love Tusker House. It's Donald's Safari.
I would say it. I'm a fan because I'm a big Donald guy.
Yeah. So you have you eaten at Topolino's Terrace?
We have not yet. No.
Donald at Topolino's Terrace was hysterical. You have to eat there. Just
Yeah.
just to meet Donald there. He is fantastic.
My
He
wife is a
is
big
in
foodie,
his
so
element.
perfect.
He's the main man there, the main duck.
And so we've gone like an hour talking about this, and we're about halfway through
Oh,
everything.
geez.
So this is going to be a two-part episode, definitely. This is a nice
Yeah.
stopping point, and then we'll pick up on food for the next one.
Yes.
So my travel tip for today is don't be afraid to take your kids to Disney when they're young. So I know I get the whole thing of, and I understand I don't want to take them whenever they're going to be too young to remember things or not going to be able to do too much. And it is a significant expense to go on a Disney vacation. If the kid is under 3 years old, they get in for free though. So once they turn three, they have to pay, but 2 years and younger, they get in for free. So it's a way that you can take them and you're not going to have any added expense, at least for the um, ticket. But there's more to the vacation than just them remembering it. And I'll have this tip in the next episode about knowing the purpose of your trip. But taking the kids and giving them that experience whenever they are that young is special. That we've mentioned this on this podcast before, that kids don't necessarily remember you reading to them whenever they're little, but we do it anyway because it can have an impact. Taking the kids on these trips, whether it's to Disney or other places, can have an impact. Even if it's not a conscious memory of theirs, the repetition of it and going through things along these lines does make a difference. So there's really nothing wrong with taking a kid that young. You don't have to worry about it. It's going to be a fun thing. Plus, as we've mentioned on here before, it's not always the kids' memories that you need to worry about. This is their childhood, yes, but it's your parenthood that you're going to have the memories of taking your kids on these trips. That we had our friend Amanda on before, that she took her newborn, and Goofy was holding the baby, or was playing with the baby, interacting with her, and the little baby was laughing and giggling so much that Goofy did not want it to end. And I've seen other situations where there are some of the characters interacting with these little kids that they may or may not remember this whenever they get older. But the kid is having a fabulous time then. And the cast members and the characters, they're having a fabulous time. And the parents are seeing this and they're having a great time. And that's what these trips do. And that's why we travel. And that's why we do some of these things, is to have these great memories and to form these memories and to have fun. And if you're going to accomplish that, then that's all you need to worry about. That is what your goal is. You want to go on these trips to have fun. If you're paying a bit more for it, it's what my dad calls an investment in happiness. The reason Disney is so popular, one of the reasons, and the reason people go back again and again and again and again, is because people know that you can have your fun there, that you're most likely going to have a really good time. So it's kind of a safe bet of, we're going to go here to enjoy ourselves. Now, there's many other places in the world you can go and have fun, and people have their favorite places that they'll go to again and again and again and again that are not Disney, and that's okay. Go to the place that you want to have fun. That is the purpose of your vacations. That's the purpose of traveling, that you want to have that fun time and also maybe learn something, have those experiences that you're not going to have on a normal everyday basis. So if you have a destination or experience that you'd like to have us discuss on the Where Yinz Goin podcast, or if you'd like to share your favorite destination or travel tip, feel free to contact us. We'd love to hear your feedback and ideas. Amanda, how can people get a hold of you?
I can get a hold of You can get a hold of me with my email, amanda@dreamsbydesigntravel.com, or you can find me on both Facebook and Instagram at Dreams by Design Travel with Amanda.
For us here, you can reach us on Facebook and X at Where Yinz Goin. Of course, you're listening, so you kind of looked this up before, right? With the spelling YINZ for Yinz, Goin, GOIN apostrophe with the question mark at the end. You can find us pretty much wherever you find podcasts and on YouTube too.
Mm-hmm.
All this information is in the show description, so you can contact us if you want to book a trip or have any questions. Please like, follow, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend if you like what you heard, let other people know so they can enjoy it too. And if you're, just listening to this from someone who's playing it a bit too loudly, get the podcast. Or if you're in a car, driving and you're listening, now you can listen to it on your own. Amanda, it's wonderful always to talk to you. We're going to have you back again to talk about more fun and exciting things.
It's always good to be here.
So please join us next time. We're not Nat. We'll see you later.
Bye.